Didn't the beavers get released around here?
We had one beaver. It was down at Water Eaton. This had been 10 or 12 years ago. It was snowy. It was the end of January. Martin Brown rang me up and said a chap walking the farm had seen a big cat. Well, when we got down there, it was actually a fox. You could see the footprints, and it had gone through some brambles, and I got some hair off the brambles. Yeah. And Martin said, well, while you're here, you better come, Oxfordshire Farmer it was, you better come and see what's been nibbling our trees. Well, nibbling, these... down the row of poplar trees, it had chewed them all off and felt them all down. He said, they built a house up on the river with it. And we went and had a look, and sure enough, it was there. Anyway, I was on Google looking at Beavers UK, and they said the Mammal Society down in London were on about trying to get licences to release them. So I emailed them and said, don't worry about releasing them, we've already got them in Oxfordshire. And they said, thank you for your, humorous thing or whatever. I said, no, I'll email you the photos of the stumps. Of course, they were straight back to me, because they'd had 6 beavers at the water park at Cirencester, Ashton Keynes, and they were down to 5.
Yeah.
And Ivor the beaver had been on the run for 18 months. Anyway, the snow melted, the river flooded, and he disappeared from there. And on the 1st of May, I had a report from a lady who, this was on the Bush Telegraph, the Big Cat Bush Telegraph, she'd seen a beaver at Dalesford swimming down the river, Evenlode, and Rose Hall. So I phoned her up and said, what did you see? She said, well, I was out hoping to see an otter, and I saw this one swimming down the river towards me. I thought, this is great. And just as it got to me, it went over and I saw the flat tail. And she thought, I'm gone bananas, that was a beaver. Anyway, I rang up the head ranger down at Ashton Keynes, Kate, and said, Ivor's been sighted swimming downstream on the Evenlode at Dalesford, and they said, that's good, because we were going to row a boat up the River Cherwell tomorrow to see if there was any sign of him up there. We'll go there instead. Well, there was no sign. At the end of July, Ivor the beaver was back in his house at Sescott Farm. They set a trap up, baited up with apples and carrots, caught him the next day. And he's one of the ones that the first release in Scotland. He got shipped off up there.
Because I thought I recognised the name. I read an article, but I thought it was Devon there. I heard.
I know they don't know where those came from on the River Tamar down in Devon on the Cornwall border there, but they've been going for a few years. But when you see the damage that one beaver had done, over on his own, fell in these trees and swimming against the current upstream to build his house on the side there. Martin thought it was the Environment Agency doing some work, chopping these willow trees down and tidying them up, because the pile got bigger and bigger and bigger. And you could see I got some good photos of the stumps all nibbled off to a point. But I think they are a native species, or they were till they got wiped out. But you look at wild boar in the Forest of Dean and the damage they're doing, and you think this might not be such a good idea, if the numbers get too great.
Well, I was going to compare it to muntjac. I was saying, actually, it seems strange we've got one, but how many muntjac have we got? And they're not native.
Some people say about the big cat population could never get going because they'd be genetically too closely related. And I say, look at the grey squirrel population. 2 or 3 got away from Woburn, a couple of muntjac got away, and the muntjac are doing rather well. They may be closely related in their genes, but there's nothing wrong with the muntjac population. There's no reason why the cat population couldn't be the same.
And actually, the cat population got well fed from all the muntjac now.
Absolutely. I can see letting the beavers go because at least they're vegetarian, but the lynx, you're talking a very different commodity.
Terriers will go missing.
Well, yes, that will be the thing.
Cats,
I mean, if ever they get let in leopards go or panthers or anything, they'll take dogs.